You're listening to episode 5 of Namaslay Inc, the podcast. This week, hosts Kiera, Nicole, Nikki, and Severina will be talking about body image and self-esteem issues. In this episode, we talk about overcoming our previous body stories, creating a new body power statement, and how to highlight your non-physical attributes. This is a beautiful episode to listen to if you experience self-image insecurities and struggle with seeing you for you. This is Namaslay Inc, the podcast, episode 5. Namaslay. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to our Sister Circle Saturday. My name is Sev and I'm here with Nicole and Nikki and Kiera. And today we'll be talking about body image and self-esteem issues. But before we get into it, let's start off with a grounding exercise. Okay, so let's close our eyes and take a few deep breaths. Imagine taking a step down the stairway, a single step closer to relaxation. As you take this step, feel your arms relaxing, becoming heavy, limp, loose, relaxed. Further descend down the stairway, going down toward relaxation. Down, down. Further and further down the stairway to a state of calm and relaxation. Feel your legs relaxing and becoming limp. Your legs are feeling very heavy, so heavy. Feel your legs sinking down, the heaviness pulling your legs down into relaxation. Reaching the bottom now, a state of calm and relaxation. You're now feeling peaceful and relaxed. Now repeat some affirmations. You don't even have to listen or pay attention to them. You could simply just relax while I talk. Just let your mind drift and reflect upon the affirmations for self-esteem and body image issues in the back of your mind with your subconscious. I am a worthwhile person. I deserve to be happy. I deserve good things. I am a human being with flaws. It's okay to have flaws. I am unique, and I appreciate my uniqueness. My opinion of myself is the only one that counts. I am perfectly all right just the way I am. I feel good about myself. It is okay to like myself. I love my body, and I love myself. I am perfect and complete just the way I am. I have many good qualities. My brain is the sexiest body part. I do some things wrong and many things right. I am confident. I deserve to be treated with love and respect. I hold myself in high regard. I like myself. I accept myself. My body is a gift, and I treat it with love and respect. My body can do awesome things. I am not perfect, and that is okay. My body is a vessel for all of my awesomeness. I accept myself. Okay, so now I'm going to count from 5 to 1, and at 1, slowly start to open your eyes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That was amazing. That was beautiful. Thank you.
That was so good. I want to literally do that in the mornings. Like, I feel like, I don't know, it's just weird. It feels really nice.
So, just a quick break in the show before we get too deep into conversation to read a review that one of our amazing listeners left over on Apple Podcasts. This one is from Ashley B. from Houston, Texas. Hey, shout out H-Town. And it says, love this podcast. Great way to start the day with Namaslay. For anyone desiring peace, passion, and purpose through self awareness, this is the show to tune into. Real conversations with a group of female mentors and coaches filled with meaningful talking points and inspired action step suggestions. Wow, Ashley, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. It means the world to hear how much you love the show. And I just want to encourage everyone listening. If you haven't already left a review for our podcast, please go and do so now. It would mean the world to us. I mean, what do you have to lose? What are you waiting for, girl? Go do it. Okay, now back to the show.
That was so good. When we think about body image and body image issues and how that affects self-esteem, it makes me think of the old body story. And we all grew up with a body story. We had experiences. And I'd like to ask each one of you, what was the body story that you grew up with? So, Nicole, do you have something to share about a body story that you grew up with, experiences you had?
Yes.
And then things that you told yourself.
Right. I know that for me growing up, I was always teased for being the smallest because I'm so short and just tiny. But the reason for that was because I was born a premature child. I was 6 months and 14 days when I was born. And so I grew up with that. It was like a big issue for me. And I had to explain to everyone, like, hey, I'm small because I was born premature. And like my bones are fragile and I just can't do certain things like other people can. Like even my heart is not the same size as everyone else's. It's a little bit smaller. So I felt like I always had to explain that story just for people to accept my size and who I was. So after a while, I was like, you know what? I just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I just don't care. Like, if you think I'm small and you don't like it, oh well, like I love it. So then I started to use it as an empowering thing. And that's why I started working out more and I worked on my strength. And I think fitness became like the outlet of me feeling more confident. It wasn't just wanting to look good body wise. Of course, that's always a bonus, but I just wanted to kick ass. Like I wanted to squat heavy. Like I wanted to be able to pick up a man and be like, ha, I'm small, but I can pick you up. So so now I'm at a point where I can pick up someone who's 225 pounds and I'm only 4'11" and a half and I'm 127 on a good day. Like, you know? So for me, just being teased all the time for being small, people always said like, oh, if I blow you, you're going to get blown away because you're so smaller. Are you sure you can do this? Like treating me as if I was not capable. And that's a misconception. It doesn't matter what you look like body image wise. I know a lot of people that are thinner and smaller but are very powerful and strong, you know, and people unfortunately judge based on what they see with their eyes, but most of the time we don't know why they are the size that they are, and most of them have a story behind it. And if we were more kind to ask questions and find out and like just be nicer about it instead of judgmental, I think that it would be a little bit easier for us as women, because whether you're small, tall, short, heavy, not, someone's going to say something. There's something someone's not going to like, because to someone, you're always going to be not good enough. So I think that self-love is what was most important to me, and making sure that I fulfill that part of me, so that however anyone else felt about me being small was not, you know, making me feel bad. Because I went through that until I was in my mid-20s. And I'm like 32. So I've been dealing with that for a very long time. And I relate to a lot of women, you know, that are going through it, because people assume that if you're small, you got it good, but you get teased for being small too. So that's my story. What about you guys?
Kira, do you want to add to that, or do you have an old body story that has transformed, and how does your new body story show up in life?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, Nicole, I never heard, like, I didn't know that perspective of how you felt and how you turned that around to be like, oh, I'm small, but I'm going to be able to do whatever. Like, that's an awesome way to kind of flip that to
Thank
Like
you.
make yourself feel
small but mighty.
yes, yes, yes. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
sis.
my personal body story is quite the opposite. I was not small. I was always tall and overdeveloped for my age. And so in elementary school, I'm always the tall girl that was getting picked on because you're so tall and all the boys are so short. No one wants to talk to you or be with you. You're not the girlfriend type when you're like hovering over everyone, right? And then it turned from being the tall girl to being 9, 10 years old with like boobs and hips, and I got a different look. It was more like grown men sexualizing my body versus letting me be a child. And I think that led me into being very insecure, trying to hide my body because I felt so uncomfortable with that attention. So I was always like putting on baggy clothes or just trying to hide all of that. And after I had my son, and I realized that, this body is not about sex. It's here to carry a human being. It's here to feed a human being. It's like totally changed my perspective of it. And now I own my body for everything that it is, all the flaws, all the stretch marks, all the whatever. I embrace every single part of it because it was here for a bigger purpose than me, bigger than sex, bigger than any of that. It was like something, a vessel for someone else. And that's what it is to me.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
For
so
me,
beautiful.
it started, I think, with like my family. Like my family would always be like, "Oh, you got a body like a Samoan. I think your daddy's Samoan or something." I'd be like, "Okay, I guess." Like it always made me feel a certain type of way, but I was never like, you know, really taken too seriously, but whatever. But then like as I got into high school, like this girl, I don't even know why she would pick on me, but she would always call me a chode. She'd be like, "Oh, you fat chode, da 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 da." Like, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know why she would say these things either, because like she was considered like the popular kids or whatever and whatever. So like that definitely had an effect on me in high school. Like kind of like how Kiara said, like she was developed at a young age. So was I. Like at 8, 9 years old, I was like a C cup, fucking with like thick thighs and whatever. And I would see like not to dog on my Mexican men, but Mexican grown men are like low key or high key pervs. Like
Yeah.
they like stare and whistle and all types of weird shit. And so like I grew up just like walking across the street to the park with some Mexican guy driving down the street and like whistling, and that would obviously make me feel weird. So like I would like from then on, I would start how Kiara said, like start wearing baggy shirts. Like I used to play soccer instead of wearing like shorts that were, that actually fit. I would always get like the extra large to where it didn't like show my body and stuff. But so like back in high school, back to that. Like once she like before she started calling me chode and shit, I never had really body image issues. I obviously thought that I was a little big, but I mean, it didn't really bother me until she started saying that. So once she started calling me that shit, I maybe, how do I put this? I didn't feel like worthy, I guess. Because, like in high school, that's when you're like, oh, boys, I'm going to get a boyfriend, da 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 da. And so, like, I never thought that I was worthy enough of a boyfriend because, this girl who's considered a popular girl thinks I'm a fucking fat chode. So it wasn't until, like, probably my third year in college to where I started, like, accepting my body and seeing that it was actually like a dope body that people would actually like love to have. And so it took me, and I see myself sometimes even like crawling back to the wearing baggy clothes when I feel like a guy is like overly staring at me, like, where it makes you just feel uncomfortable. So like I still feel myself wearing like my boyfriend's sweatshirts and stuff to go to the grocery store. Like when I'm with my boyfriend, I am so secure. Like I wear like a tube top with like short ass shorts, showing everything. But like when I'm not with him, I just feel so weird. Like I don't know, just because of what guys look at, and I don't know, just anyways.
Makes sense though. It makes sense though. You feel like he can protect you if something happened, and then
Exactly.
that makes
But
sense
like
though.
when he's away, it just feels weird. Um, So yeah, so I'm still kind of working through my whole body story. I still get the like I still hear that girl in high school in my head. Like especially
Mm.
like when I'm running and stuff, I'll hear her say like you fat chode, and then that's kind of what motivates me honestly to like keep on running or something. So,
Mm. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you for sharing that, Sev. That's very personal.
Yeah, it is. And I can relate to a lot of what you're saying, except I was underdeveloped. So I was the skinny girl. It had similar bullying going on, but it was, I was flat chested. And then I struggled with low self-worth because of my own issues and whatever was going on in my childhood. So the attention that I got, I can relate to those, the hoots and the hollers, but I think boys tended to, they could pick up on someone with, low self-worth, or who was willing to give her attention or her energy or even body to anyone who's giving attention. So that was how I equated love and affection, was that kind of the attention that I would get. But although, I was told, eat a burger, bitch, because I was skinny, or I had no boobs, and I was made fun of for those reasons. So I guess we all have something, outside forces that affect the way we think about ourselves and look at ourselves in the mirror. And it wasn't until I got into my mid 30s where I discovered healthy living and being athletic and outdoorsy, and then I started to learn that I have this body for me, and it's not, it has to be for me first, whatever I do, whatever I put into it, whatever. And so then, the self-love journey is what changes that. And that, leads into the self-esteem issues. So it goes hand in hand, body image and self-esteem and mindset, self-love. So I'm curious, after listening to all your stories, Nicole, how do you create your new body power statement? How do you replace, what happens when your old body story, or the words, the whatever it is that comes into mind, what do you replace it with, or what do you do now to be so confident, or to move into a new body story?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I'm confident all the time. I have my days,
99.9% of the time.
You're hilarious. No, I just feel like I still have that, but I just refuse to like let it bother me. I'm a very stubborn person. So if I like decide on something, I stick to it, right? So once I realized that how I feel about my body is the only thing that matters, like I stuck to that story. And even now when I hear because I used to be bullied, have people throw rocks at me, like throw me in the mud, like I've had some really traumatic things happen to me. Well, not only being small, but also being like from another country. It all just went together, and it was just like a very hard, probably about 8 to 10 years of being bullied. So now I just think of myself as a I don't want to use the word survivor because I don't see myself as a victim, but a word between survivor and thriver. And I feel like I'm a little bit of both, to where when I do have those negative thoughts, I just remind myself like, hey, this is just your old self. This is just your comfort zone, because you used to be bullied for so long. It became like almost like a pattern and a habit to like go back to those old thoughts. So I just have to remind myself like, hey, this is just the old patterns. This is not who you are now. Like your goal of what you want to achieve now and as an adult, as a empowered woman, now your goal is to help others not be, so, you know, feel less of themselves. So what do I need to do to feel better? So what I do is I'll meditate, I'll listen to Abraham Hicks, I'll literally rewire my brain. So if I'm thinking about not feeling worthy, I'll literally Google like feeling worthy, Abraham Hicks, feeling worthy, Joe Dispenza, or whoever I feel connected to that day. And I just allow them to speak through me and just remind me like, okay, yeah, you're feeling this way, but let's just not worry about the problem. Let's think about the solution. And that's how I kind of bring myself back into center, because I do have those days, especially now that I'm single. I'm like, is it because I'm not good enough? Like, I'm single. Where's my man at? You know, you start to feel like unworthy or feeling like you're not good enough. But in reality, it's like that's not the case. You know what I mean? And it's something that I have to do on a daily basis. Like I have to meditate every day to make sure that I'm ready for the day. So that's how I deal with it usually, through YouTube or meditation.
Nice. So
Yeah.
tools, having
Tools.
mindset shifts.
Or sisters like you guys, I could be like, girl, I'm feeling insecure today. You're like, you better not. You better cut it out.
I
So
know,
that
right?
always helps.
It's so great that we have this to come to. I love the topics that come up, and as they come up through conversation. And I love this conversation today, this discussion was inspired by that story that Severina shared last Saturday, and it really had me thinking throughout the week, like what does it all mean, and what is body image? And so I'm so glad that we have each other to bounce these experiences off, and come up with new ways, create new ways together to co-create new ways to embrace our body image and to build ourselves up and build each other up. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
So if we were to talk about, and Severina covered so many great affirmations or mantras, body mantras, and in her grounding exercise. And I had a mantra ready to go, but like now I just have to feel some from, if I were to create my new body power statement, I would say, my body is a gift. My brain is my sexiest body part. I accept and embrace my body. And thank you, Severina, for that.
Love it.
I'm stealing that for sure. My brain is my sexiest body part. I'm literally going to put that in my bio today, guys.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. And so I wonder, do any of you have to add to that, your new body power statement, something to live with and take with you throughout your day when those thoughts come in, when the old body story comes in, or if you start to feel a little insecure or have those days where you want to just put on the baggy clothes and you're letting the body image affect you. What would be a power statement, a body power statement?
That's such a good question.
I don't know. I really have to think about it, to be honest.
That is a really good question. I think my statement would be something along the lines of like reminding myself that my body is always changing, because that's one thing that we fail to realize is, as women, is like we're always going to be changing. We expect ourselves to look a certain age for the rest of our life. Like it's not possible. I mean, you can by good nutrition, but it's just natural for your body to go through phases. It's just life. So always constantly reminding myself that no matter what phase I'm in, what age I'm in, or what I'm experiencing physically, I'm always changing, and I'm always changing to the best version of myself, no matter what that is. So just reminding myself that would probably be my affirmation.
I know. You guys are good today. You guys are on a roll. I'm like,
We're on it.
you're
We're
taking the
on
words
it.
out of my mouth, man. I don't know.
I don't know. I really like the one that you came up with, Nikki. Like it was kind of a compilation of like all of them. Because I think
Yes.
like initially, like yesterday when we were talking about it, I wanted to say something that was more directed to thinking of how I think of myself or how I perceive my body. So it was going to be like very body forward. But since we came up with the affirmation of my brain is my sexiest body part, like it just, that one just feels so
Right.
different. Yeah, so right. Like it, like when you think of like your brain being your sexiest body part, it just makes you feel like there's so much more to me than my body. Like, I don't know. That's where I'm at with it.
That was going to be mine, is I am not my body, and it just like you said, I'm so much more than this physical thing that you see. This is just a vessel. Like I am what's inside of this body. You're just seeing an aesthetic thing. Like don't relate that to who I am inside.
Exactly. I mean, one week I might eat a lot of burgers and I might be a little bit bigger than the next week that I eat nothing but pieces.
That
But
was me yesterday. I ate so much yesterday.
started. But like no matter what my body looks like, I'm still gonna be the same me. That the inside of me is not gonna change.
Yeah, and the most important thing is being healthy and feeling strong and capable physically. So obviously it starts with the mental, but then it's the physical, because what we have is this one life, this one body, and so putting in healthy things, surrounding yourself with support, with supportive rather than destructive mechanisms or power statements or mindsets. So I think we have covered some great points, and I really appreciate all of you beautiful women, beautiful from the inside out, as I get to we grow and get to know each of you more and more. I'm so grateful for this support, and I will take with me today everything that I learned from each of you, and learn. It helps me learn about myself. And even as a grown, developed woman, there are still issues that will arise, and so these conversations and tips and mindset shifts. So today I embrace and accept my body, and I love my brain is my sexy body part.
For sure.
And I just wanted to say I'm really proud of all of you guys, just us as women and what we're doing here. Even if we touch one person's life and change their mentality just a little bit, that's what we're doing this for. And today's topic was really sensitive for me. I'm sure as is for everybody else that, has experienced what we've experienced as well. And so it takes a big, vulnerable, safe place to have this kind of conversation. And I'm just proud of us for taking the first step to normalize these conversations and say, hey, like in some way we all relate, whether you're tall, short, big, small, it doesn't matter. We still feel that insecurity, and we all go through that, the bullying and the feeling unworthy and all of this other stuff. So I'm really proud of you guys. I love you guys for being so open and like vulnerable, because it's not easy.
Mm-mm.
And we live in a world where constantly they're judging us, like all these filters coming out. Now I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, I want to look like this in real life with the filters. And then I have to remind myself like, no, this is just the marketing. This is just selling products. This is the world that we live in. So I have to remind myself of reality all the time. And I know we all go through that in our own way. And I just want to say I love you guys. And that's really awesome that you're so open and vulnerable.
Yeah. And I think for me, the craziest part is like growing up always being like the, bigger, thicker person. I've always thought like, oh, that skinny bitch over there, she doesn't go through the same thing I do. Like, there's no way she's insecure. She's got it all. She's got the body, like, she's got what I want. Like, there's no way that she could be insecure. Like, what's wrong with this? But like, just like having this conversation, it just really makes you realize that it doesn't matter what you look like. You could be the baddest bitch in the world,
Right.
and you're still going to have these insecurities, and you're still going to have these people talking down to you and like pointing out these random flaws that don't even matter, because how we said, the outside is, it doesn't matter. It's what's inside that matters.
Yeah. And I look at Steph and I'm like, girl, your waist is snatched. You know, I always tell her. And then I see Nikki and I'm like, girl, you're so tall. I love your legs. And then I see Kiara and I'm like, girl, you curvy. I want those hips, you know? We all have.
Everybody said a little something.
Yeah, we all have a little something that we admire about each other. And let's focus on the things that we admire. And I want to, you know, encourage everyone else to do the same. Like, instead of picking things we don't like, let's focus on the things that we do like, so we can empower each other with it, you know?
Exactly.
You guys are all amazing, and we're all beautiful in our own lights. I hope that we go through this week knowing we are bad bitches, and not because of what we look like, but because of who we are.
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, can I end this conversation on a positive note? Okay, so I think that we should name 5 things that we love about ourselves, appearance-wise.
That's a good one. Make it be not non-physical attributes.
That's even better. I
And
love that.
even harder. Shit. Okay.
Okay, I'll go first in that case, because my appearance, I don't know. I don't want to be like, oh, I like my eyes. Like, that's so typical. You know what I mean?
I like my ass. My ass is fat.
My eyelashes is long, and I'm not wearing lashes today. I would say that I am very good at, one of the gifts that I believe I have is making people feel comfortable to be themselves with me. And I take pride in that. And I love that about myself. Another thing I love about myself is I'm funny, and I don't even try to be. It's just natural, you know. The third thing is I have so much passion and compassion for everyone around me. I always try to find a way to relate to people. The fourth thing is I'm very understanding. And the last thing would be I'm very patient with people that don't even deserve it sometimes. But I am very patient. And it's always blessed me. So I'm very grateful for those attributes that God has gifted me with. So thank you, Lord.
Yeah. All right. So I'll steal 2 of yours. Compassionate and
Smart girl. You better not forget that. You're hella smart.
glasses fool you. I'm just kidding.
No, you're actually very smart. You're hella smart. Like, you know your shit, and I'm so proud of you. You better say one of them.
Okay. All right. Compassion. Okay. I'm a compassionate person. I am smart, especially when it comes to techie type stuff. I am forgiving. I am thoughtful. I am a lover of living things, not just humans, like especially animals. And I try my best at everything that I do.
That's awesome. Can I add one that I know of that you didn't mention?
What?
You're very unconditional. Like, no matter what's happening to you in life and how people treat you, or like, I never know when you're going through some shit in life. I never freaking know. Like, she will never call me and be like, girl, guess what happened to me? She's so unconditional. She lives her life so just on, like, by herself, on her own. Like, she doesn't base her emotions or her reactions based on what's happening around her. And I think that's so big for especially a woman, because we're such emotional creatures that we always react on instinct. And that's one thing that I've always admired about Seb, is like, she always like steps back, thinks about it, and then like goes with it. You know, she's not like me. I'm very reactive. I'm like, I lose my shit very quick. Seb is not like that, and I admire that about her a lot. So you're very unconditional, Seb. Don't forget to add that to your list.
Okay, 6, unconditional. Do you have anything to add to me?
That is so beautiful. I love it.
She's really good. Yeah.
Everybody needs a friend like Nicole in your life.
That's right. And everybody needs a friend like Seb.
Nicole, I'm going to do the same thing you just did and add something to your list, knowing you and my experiences with you. I'd say nurturing is the first thing that comes to mind. You are so incredibly nurturing and fun. So it's just this beautiful balance of like this fun, bursting, energetic, like personality that is magnetic and also it is what's the word where it's contagious. You just like being around you makes you want to have fun.
Yeah, you can't be like in a grumpy mood and be around you.
No.
Like you can start off being like grumpy, but then you start and then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Let me just be grumpy.
That's hilarious. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So sweet.
Now, the first thing that comes to mind is creative. And the reason that's important is because I grew up thinking I had no creativity. And it wasn't until, recently in my adulthood and coming into my womanhood that I realized I am a creative person, and to tap into that is important. So, and I feel like I share the same adjective or one of the lists that you guys had was compassion. I feel like I'm a very compassionate person. It's very easy for me to just see the good in everything and to just breathe love into things, into people, into circumstances. So I love that, compassionate. And then resilient. I've come to learn that, man, I can get knocked down, but I get back up, and I don't fall back into that feeling, of self-pity. I don't have those self-pity parties like I used to. And so to just keep on pushing and to be resilient is a gift and a quality that I am so grateful to finally have as a grown woman. And positive. I feel like it just getting through everything with a positive attitude, positive mindset, even if shit is just falling apart all around me, I can find the light somewhere in it and just keep on moving through it till it just becomes brighter. So I'd say so. Those are some of mine.
I want to add to your list. Of course, I'm going to add to your list, right? One of the things I admire about you is every time I hug you or I'm around you, you give me this sense of like calmness. It's almost like, how do I explain it? It's like when I'm near you, just your voice and just who you are as a person, your energy is so calming that when I hug you, I instantly feel like resistance just lets go. And it's such a powerful thing to have as a woman. And of course that comes from you being so nurturing, but it's more than just being nurturing. You could literally just touch my shoulder. I'm like, oh yes, girl, I feel better now. Thank you. Like yesterday when I hugged you and you said, I adore you. And I said, I love you. And we were hugging. It was like the most genuine connection ever because it was just so sincere. And you can only give that out if that's how you feel on the inside. And I know that despite everything you have gone through, your life experiences, you always find your center and you always find a way to have this peace that you carry with you everywhere that you go. And it's so apparent and it's contagious as well. Like I feel so calm around you, it's awesome. So I really admire that about you a lot.
I appreciate that with all my heart. Thank you.
Yes, girl. I wasn't just saying a compliment. It's like genuine. I really feel that about you for sure. Like ever since the first day we met, you've always been that person for me.
All right, guys, get a room.
I know. All this corny shit. God damn it.
I love it. And I feel like this is a great note to wrap up on. I would challenge our listeners this week to maybe even put pen to paper and make a list of things that they appreciate of themselves and what they notice that, and it's more than body, right? It goes deeper. And then to even go a little further and ask people, one or two friends, family members, whoever it is that knows you well enough to give you some, to add to your list. What do you know about me? What do you appreciate about me? What do you see that maybe I don't see? So, and then keep that list close.
So shall we end it with a mantra?
Yeah, I do. Yes. Do you want to give that mantra, Severine?
I am a worthwhile person. I deserve to be happy. I deserve good things. I'm a human being with flaws. It is okay to have flaws. I am unique and I appreciate my uniqueness. My opinion of myself is the only one that counts. I am perfectly all right just the way I am. I feel good about myself. It is okay to like myself. I love my body and I love myself. I am perfect and complete just the way I am. I have many good qualities. I do some things wrong and many things right. I am confident. I deserve to be treated with love and respect. I hold myself in high regard. I like myself. I accept myself. My body is a gift. I treat it with love and respect. My body can do awesome things. I am not perfect, and that is okay. My body is a vessel for all of my awesomeness. I accept myself. My brain is my sexiest body part. Namaslay.